Okay. Hello, you can see me?
Good morning, Bhante. Yes.
Yes, Bhante.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bhante.
Good morning.
Okay. Now, today I am going to give a talk on another very important discourse that's called Devadaha Sutta. Devadaha, Deva means Deva is used for kings here. Daha means pond. There is a very naturally made pond which is used by kings, and therefore that Devadaha means, therefore it's called Devadaha. Daha means pond. And in that, near the pond. So this is, the discourse is called by that name. So that's how I heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling among the Sakyas, where there was a town of the Sakyas named Devadaha. So the town is called Devadaha because of this pond. Then a number of western-bound bhikkhus, westward-bound bhikkhus, approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, sat down to one side, and said to him, "Venerable sir, we wish to go to the western province in order to take up residence there." So that means they want to go to west, to the western province and take up residence. Means that they want to spend a Vassa period, 3 months Vassa period. Then the Buddha said, okay, have you taken the leave of Sariputta? Because no, Venerable sir. Why Buddha wanted them to see Venerable Sariputta? Because when monastics live in one monastery, they want to maintain the cordiality, friendship among the monks. Some monks may be very rude and they just put on robe and walk away. But others who are very friendly, maintain the friendship of all the monastics, they would tell others, I want to go to such and such a place. And then everybody would know where that person is gone. Otherwise, when somebody just took off and left, when he is missing, everybody would be wondering, what happened to so-and-so? In order to avoid this kind of confusion, Buddha wanted them to maintain their friendship, harmony, and then Buddha asked, have you seen Sariputta? They said, no, Venerable sir, we have not seen him. Then Buddha said, go and see Sariputta. Why Buddha wanted them to see Sariputta? Because Sariputta is very, very wise. He is very compassionate. He was skilled in dhatu, ayatana, indriya, bala, bodhanga. He is skillful in all these things. when these monks were going to stay in Western province for 3 months, Buddha wanted them to see the Venerable Sariputta because of these reasons. Because the Sariputta is helping monastics in both ways, in spiritually and materially. Materially means not like other everyday. Uh, Buddha knew Venerable Sariputta's habit. Every day, other monks just put on robes, take the alms bowl, and they go on Pindapata to collect alms food. But Venerable Sariputta did not do that. Venerable Sariputta get up very early morning and then go around the compound of the monastery. And then he says, where there is no place, not sept, he will sweep that place. And if there are trash thrown here and there, he collect all of them and put in suitable place. And if there are beds, sleeping material, pillows, blanket and so forth, not properly arranged, and he collect them all, arrange them properly. Why you want to do that? Because when other sectarians come to see the place, just out of curiosity, they go to various places. And if they go to this monastery, if they see this uh, trash, untidy place, they would criticize the Buddhist monks who are not very disciplined. They don't tidy up their place. So in order to avoid that kind of unnecessary criticism, Venerable Sariputta would clean the whole place. Not only that, this is how he helped. And then otherwise also, he goes to the hall where Sikh monks stay. So he would go and see Sikh monks and check their health. If they need anything, if they need any kind of medicine, or he would go to a certain house and collect medicine and bring and give to this Sikh monk. He cannot go to Pindapata. He would ask his own young novice monks to take this Sikh monk's alms bowl and go on Pindapata. And if they need anything special, he would, whenever Sariputta asked them, so and so the family, certain families, to prepare certain food which is good for the sick people. If nobody else is there, he himself would go collect this and bring back and help these monks. So when he goes with the Buddha on alms round, he would not take his alms bowl and an umbrella and goes very quickly. Then, but if there are all sick monks, he would, if they are sick, they would massage them and so forth, take their robes, and then go after with the Buddha for his alms round. One day, the Buddha saw Venerable Sariputta returned from his arms round, and there was no place for him to sit down because other monks have taken all the seats. Then the Buddha noticed these tribal monks, and he passed a rule that they must always be respectful to the elderly monks. Venerable Sariputta is one of the most prominent monks, so they should help him. And then Venerable Sariputta also help others in a spiritual way, teaching Dhamma. When Venerable Sariputta advised the monk, if he doesn't listen, he advised twice, three, four, even 100,000 times until the monks understand the Dhamma and practice Dhamma, meditation, and attain at least stream entry and so forth. And therefore, there were many enlightened monks at the time of the Buddha. All these, Buddha asked these monks to go and see Venerable Sariputta before they departed for the western province, because Sariputta has these qualities. So now at that time, on that occasion, the Venerable Sariputta was sitting not far from the Blessed One in a acacia bush. There was a little, as I said, there was a pond, Devadaha, and close to that there was a little platform made for him to sit down, and this acacia bushes were around the platform. And in summer, the cool air from the lake blow towards the acacia bush area. Whenever Sariputta liked to sit there to get little cool, fresh air, he was sitting there. That seat was not too far from the Buddha. Then those bhikkhus, having delighted and rejoiced in the Blessed One's statement, rose from their seats and paid homage to the Blessed One. And then, keeping him on their right, they approached the Blessed Venerable Sariputta, then exchanged greeting with Venerable Sariputta. When they had concluded their greetings and cordial talk, they sat down to one side and said to him, now these monks, when the Buddha asked them to go and see him, they also are very humble. They did not protest, we don't want to see him because we don't know him. We will be late to go on our journey. They did not say any of these things. As Buddha asked them to go and see Venerable Sariputta, with great respect, they accepted Buddha's advice and went to Sariputta, paid respect and sat down. And then they said to Venerable Sariputta, friend Sariputta, we wish to go to the western province in order to take up residence there. We have taken leave of the teacher. So he told that they were going to going to the western province. Then, as habit, Venerable Sariputta asked, friends, there are wise Khatyas, wise Brahmins, wise householders, and the wise ascetics who question the bhikkhu when he has gone abroad. When you go, that is not in this close to us, but that is something like going abroad. When you go there, these Brahmins, Khatyas, Brahmins, household, they all are wise people. And the wise people, friends, are inquisitive. When they say you, they will ask you questions. What are the questions they may ask you? What does your teacher say? What does he teach? I hope that you will oneself learn the teachings well, grasp them well, attend to them well, reflected on them well, and penetrated them well with wisdom, so that when you answer, you will state what has been said by the Blessed One, and will not misrepresent him with what is contrary to fact, so that you will explain in accordance with the Dhamma, and no reasonable consequence of your assertion would give ground for criticism. So, if you have you learned them, memorize, and grasp the meaning, and you attended to them. So when the Besar put the question there, so that when you go there, you will satisfy these Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and householders and ascetics who are very wise. So otherwise if you don't understand the Buddha's teaching properly, you may give wrong answer, and that would misrepresent the Buddha, and so forth. So then this monk said, we would come from far away, friend, to learn the meaning of these statements from Venerable Sariputta. It would be good indeed if the Venerable Sariputta would clear up the meaning of these statements. So when they requested Sariputta to explain the meaning of this. Then Venerable Sariputta said, then listen and attend closely, friends, I will speak. They said yes. And there are, again he repeated, there are friends, wise Kshatriyas, wise Brahmins, wise householders and wise ascetics who question bhikkhus when he has gone abroad. For wise people, friends, are inquisitive. This is what they would ask you. What does your teacher say? What does he teach? When they ask you, being asked thus, friends, you should answer, our teacher, friends, teaches the removal of desire and lust. What is the desire and lust? Desire and lust, uh, desire is attachment to the craving, lust is craving. Easy, desire and lust. Then when you have answered thus, friends, there may be wise Kshatriyas and so forth. The same people will ask you, in regard to what does your teacher teach the removal of desire and lust? Being asked thus, friends, you should answer, our teacher, friends, teaches the removal of desire and lust for form, the removal of desire and lust for feelings, perceptions, volitional formations, and consciousness. What are these? These are the five aggregates. So the Buddha taught the Dhamma to removal of desire and lust for our five aggregates: form, feeling, perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. We are attached to them. We have a desire for all these aggregates. We cling to these aggregates, and removal of this clinging, this lust for this, the Buddha teaches the Dhamma. And then when you answer like that, they will ask you again this question, the same thing he repeated. These wise people, Hatyas, Brahmins and so forth, these wise people will ask you this question. Having seen what danger does a teacher teaches the removal of desire and lust for forms? The removal, desire and lust for feelings. What kind of, having seen what kind of danger that teaches the removal, lust and form, desire and lust for forms, feeling, perception, thought and consciousness. Now, there must be danger. What kind of danger that he finds in becoming attached to them and ask you to remove this? Then they said, they said, being asked thus, friends, you should answer this. If, friends, one is not devoid of lust, desire, affection, thirst, passion, and craving in regard to form, then with the change and alteration of form, there arises in one sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure, and despair. Now, form, feeling, perception, thought, and all informations, if you attach to them thinking that they are permanent, but in spite of their attachment, the very nature of form, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness is that they change. They change. They alter. When they change and alter, they arise in one sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure, and despair. And again, so if, friends, one is not devoid of lust, desire, affection, thirst, passion, and craving in regard to these five aggregates, then there will not alteration, there arise in one sorrow, lamentation. Having seen this danger, our teacher teaches removal of desire and lust for forms and so forth. When you attach to them, cling to them, have affection, desire, thirst, passion, craving in regard to five aggregates, you have you experience pain, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair because these five aggregates change. When they change, you have this. If one does not attach to them, if one is not devoid of lust, this will happen. Having seen danger, Buddha asks us to remove the clinging, craving, attach, five aggregates, what you call upadana. When you have seen those friends, these wise people, when you said this, these wise people, Khatyas and so forth, will ask you further questions. Having seen what benefit does your teacher teach the removal of desire, lust for forms, removal of desire for lust for form, feeling, perception, volition and formation, thought and consciousness. When they ask this question, being asked thus, friends, you should answer them. If, friends, one is devoid of lust, desire, affection, thirst, passion, and craving in regard to form and feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness, and so forth are implied. Then, with the change and alteration of form, feeling, perception, volitional formations, consciousness, sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure, and despair do not arise in not. So, because the person knows that they are changing, so knowing that they are changing, he would not cling to them. When they change, then they would not suffer. If one is devoid of lust, desire, affection, thirst, passion, and craving in regard to feelings and so forth, there would not be any sorrow, lamentation, pain, and despair. Having seen this benefit, our teacher teaches removal of desire and lust for form, feeling, perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. And then, when Sariputta said, if friends, one who enters and dwells amid unwholesome states could dwell happily in this very life without vexation, despair, and fever, and if with the break of the body after death, you could expect to expect a good destination, then the Blessed One would not praise the abandoning of unwholesome states. When you cling to unwholesome states and dwell upon it and sustain it, when you support it, and if when you have greed and lust towards these things, if you enjoy this life, live happily in this very life, then you will not have vexation, despair, fever, and so forth. And also after that, you will be expect to go to good destination, being born in heavenly world. Then Buddha would not ask you to remove it. But because one who enters amidst unwholesome state dwells in suffering in this very life with the vexation, despair, and fever, and because he can expect a bad destination with the break up of the body after death, the Blessed One prays the abandoning of unwholesome state. In this very life you suffer, you have fever when you are attached to your body, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness. Uh, Buddha would pray if you are, but because one enters and dwells in the unwholesome state, you dwell in that, you will have pleasure. Because he can expect a bad destination with the breakup of body after death. The Blessed One prays the abandoning of unwholesome state. When you abandon the craving and clinging and so forth to this body, abandon it, then you will be happy in this very life. Even after death, you will have a good destination. Then Buddha said, if friends, one who enters and dwells amid wholesome state would dwell in suffering in this very life with the vexation, despair, and fever, and if with the breakup of the body after death he could expect bad destination, and then the Blessed One would not praise the acquisition of a wholesome state. When you live with a wholesome state of mind, giving up lust and so forth, uh, and live a wholesome life, and then in this life, when you live a wholesome state, would dwell in suffering in this very life, with vexation, despair, and fever, and if at the breakup of the body after death, he could expect a bad destination, then the Blessed One would not praise the acquisition of the wholesome state. But because in one who enters and dwells amidst a wholesome state, dwells happily in this very life, without vexation, despair, and fever, and because he can expect a good destination with the breakup of the body after death, the Blessed One prays the acquisition of the wholesome state. Now, this is very clear. And to ask this question, you should answer those questions like this. And that is how Venerable Sariputta explained things to these monks. This is what Venerable Sariputta said. Elated, those bhikkhus delighted in the Venerable Sariputta statement. So when Sariputta gave this explanation, they were so delighted, they were so happy that they got the correct answers to these questions. You see, the purpose of following the Buddha teaches us to give up craving and lust for our five aggregates. Pancha upadana, aggregates of clinging. We want to liberate the five aggregates from five aggregates. You want to liberate from five aggregates of clinging. We want to liberate five aggregates from the five aggregates of clinging. So you can see the difference. Five aggregates and five aggregates of clinging. We can live happily, peacefully, if we liberate the five aggregates from five aggregates of clinging. If we do not remove the difference between that is very important, not Venerable Sariputta's own ideas, and this is the Buddha's essence of Buddha's teaching. And so I think this talk is very much to all of us to remember and think of the reason why we want to practice the Buddha's teaching. Okay, now I think we must stop here and we can have time to practice meditation. We have about 25 minutes. Okay? Okay. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds, whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long or large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to earth. May all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. neither from anger nor should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. Whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision. Removing desire for sensual pleasures, one comes never again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought in our mind, let us do some meditation. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish. May I join always with the wise until the time and attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be, from the highest realm of existence to the lowest. May all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So friends, this is the end of today's session. Once again, I want to share my special metta with everybody. May all those who are in hospitals suffering from various diseases, may they recover very soon and practice Dhamma, practice meditation, and attain liberation from samsaric suffering, and learn. And those doctors, nurses, and hospital staff who are taking care of patients also find time to practice meditation and understand the nature of life and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who have lost their loved ones may still be grieving. May they be free from grief and understand the nature of Dhamma, practice meditation, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in troubled spots, various places, in war zones, discrimination, poverty-stricken, may they all find time to understand the nature of greed, hatred, and delusion, and then practice Dhamma and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in the northern direction, northeastern direction, eastern direction, southeastern direction, southern direction, southwestern direction, western direction, northwestern direction, up and down below, may all be well, happy, and peaceful. May they all attain liberation from samsaric suffering. And that is the end of today's session. Anybody who likes to join our afternoon 3 o'clock Dhammapada discourse, as probably you all know, those who have been joining us, we take one Dhammapada stanza and gain word for word translation, and then we recite it several times, and then tell the story behind it, and ask you to recite it, so that you will be able to pronounce Pali and also know the meaning of each word. And we see you this afternoon if you like. Okay.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Much